Hello again. This time your video blog is an exploration of the hip joint. The hip joint is very important to understand for sitting, for driving, for bending over, for posture in general. Most of us understand that the hip is a ball and socket joint, but we may not realize the way that the movement of the pelvis affects the way the ball fits into the socket, and that's important. I started actually to make a blog about hamstrings, as so many people ask me what to do about short, tight hamstrings. And I will do that, but I need you to understand this first about the hip joint. So try this exploration with me. You need to do this on your back with your feet up the wall. You could do it on the floor. I happen to have a table next to my wall. It's important to have your thighs perfectly vertical, and then your knees can be at right angles and your feet are just flat against the wall surface. So try this movement. First, put your hands just lightly, rest them on your thighs, and then tuck your tail under between your legs and feel what happens in your hands. You see how they ride up? Then, to reverse the movement, use your pubic bone here and move it down away from your belly button. You feel how the legs come back down into the sockets. Just try it again. Tuck your tail between your legs. Feel how that flattens your lumbar spine against the floor. Your legs are riding up and forward. And then just move your pubic bone down towards the wall. Feel how that widens your sit bones, moving them apart a little bit at this point as your thighs sink back down into your pelvis. Here's another way to feel it. Just put your hands, slide them into the creases between your thigh and pelvis. And do the same movement. Just turning your tail under, flattening your spine, and feeling the legs ride up, and then reverse the movement, restoring your lumbar curve, widening your sit bones, and feel how that deepens and softens the crease under your hands. So, what's my point? Here's what's happening. My top hand here is grasping the inside surface of the left half of the pelvis. The pubic bone is here, and the sit bone is down here. Here's the ball and socket, here's the leg. So, when we roll the pelvis back, the way we were just doing, that exposes the front part of the ball and slides it forward a little bit in the socket. It's not very stable. Watch again. We tip the pelvis under, and the ball joint rolls forward, and the leg has rolled slightly outwards. But when we bring the pubic bone down into a neutral position for the pelvis, then the ball can fit more deeply into the back of the socket. It's more stable, and that's what we want. What I just showed you has implications for sitting, because if you tuck your tail under and roll back, you have projected your thighs forward and everything else has fallen down through the middle. If you find yourself in this position, just do what we did lying down. You can move your pubic bone down away from your belly button and you come right up. Then, if you need to bend over, you can bend over around your hip sockets. Right? However, if you've rolled back, the hip sockets won't work and you'll be forced to bend over from the waist. Not such a great idea. Then, for driving, it's the driving leg that gets under a lot of stress, applying the gas, applying the brake all the time, especially if you're in this rolled back position. Okay, because the leg is no longer connected well into the pelvis. So the leg does all the work. Whereas if you can play with this idea of deepening the crease, see if you can position yourself in the car seat so those creases are deepened. You might have to put something behind you to support your back in that position. And then see if that doesn't make a difference in the way the driving leg feels. You'll try it and let me know. Well, I hesitate to show you this next part, but in the interest of healthy posture, here goes. If I tuck my tail under, like we've been doing, then my thighs are no longer supported, seated deeply in the sockets, and I have fallen down through the middle. And this is how I would be if I didn't try to walk my talk. It's a sad story. And no amount of thrusting my shoulders back and my chin in is going to make healthy posture out of this poor foundation. So, just drop the pubic bone like we did before, allow the sit bones to widen, and your lumbar spine to come into that neutral curve. And this allows your